consumers and nobody's speaking to them. And when they try and speak to them, they speak to them in this way that's indicates that there's something wrong with them, that they have some kind of a built-in disability because they're like a certain age. And I thought, I don't feel like that. My friends don't feel like that. So this group is growing dramatically in numbers and influence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't aim to speak for everybody who's over 50. I think that's a really big mistake. I think that there's so much horrid, terrible language and visuals used for this group of people, and it usually involves the word silver or golden or gray or sunset or some god-awful, like, horrid thing. Illuminate the purpose of the interviews, the purpose of the profiles is to show people possibilities and to illuminate qualities that we think match with what we're about. Mm-hmm. And I have a saying, hard is not impossible. Hard is just hard. Mm-hmm. It's not impossible. And I think people, especially as they get a little older, they kind of clip off the edges of what they think is possible. And it's really, the range is much, much greater than what they think, but they've been told by all this silly, medicalized imagery and language that I have a disability because I'm 59. Mm-hmm. I don't. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I choose not to believe that. And the people that we engage with also, they don't buy into that. 6 months. Yeah. 2 years ago, she was I love this story. Google runs a Digital Entrepreneur of the Year award. So it's her on stage, 64-year-old, at that point, 65-year-old English grandmother, who looks very much like a 65-year-old English grandmother.
Yeah.
There's nothing, exceptional about her when you look at her.
Uh-huh.
And all the rest of them were guys. They were all under 25. Goodness. And she turns around and she looks at them and she says, "I'm not who you think I am." She lives in North Georgia. 55 in North Georgia is a very different thing than 55 in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, the decisions that people make over a period of a lifetime, there are consequences, good and bad. Like everything you do pays a dividend, positive or negative. There's a commission happening there. So some people have chosen to live in a certain way, and some people can make course corrections there, and but sometimes you can't. There's just too much damage, and that's you don't want to get to that point.
Their lives. What do you think? What have you seen are some of their secrets to aging and longevity? Do they share something in common?
Yeah, they do.
What is it?
There's a couple of kind of core traits. So the curiosity, they're all very curious. The belief in lifelong self-improvement. So that involves lifelong learning. That involves physical and health things. It involves exposure to other cultures, having a certain amount of tolerance to be exposed to something completely different, and not necessarily adopt it, but be okay with that existing. If you want to stay on your game. It's like a lot of work. So myself, I have a fairly disciplined exercise program, and to me, the main big rock stuff is really muscle mass. So and your bone density. So I said, okay, so what can I do to take care of that? Pick up really heavy things. And to me, the greatest health threat is this glucose insulin reaction that happens in your body. And that's, all the linkages between that chemical reaction and Alzheimer's and cancer and diabetes and just like every kind of bad thing you can think of tends to come from that.
Accelerated aging, pretty much.
I tell people food is not for fun, but food is fuel, and food is medicine. And
food. But tell me, David, what is the one thing that you do every day that makes the biggest difference in your life in terms of, aging or the way you feel?
My morning meditation. So I've been trying to meditate for about 35 years, and I failed for 30 of them. And what happened was, as I started Zora, I could feel things changing. I think in 2 or 3 years, the culture will have moved dramatically on this point.
Yeah.
And